All right, hello everybody, and welcome to an impromptu episode, but I guess the debut episode of Sports Nation. I'm Bobby Melendez, joined with Steve Stager.
What's going on?
What's up, Dave? How you doing, brother?
I'm doing great. Seems like the more we get closer towards Thanksgiving games and the actual holiday, it's dragging. But I feel like today and yesterday's just been super slow compared to the last week before football. It just flew through the week.
Yeah, for me, it feels, again, and I guess it is. It felt like Friday, Thursday, today. Like, I'm like, oh, I can't wait. And then I'm like, oh no, today's only Tuesday.
Yeah.
It's weird. I'm like hoping for the weekend, but it's like, wait a second. No, it's just a weird vibe. But cannot wait for Thanksgiving, that Thanksgiving turkey. Can't wait for Thanksgiving football. There's nothing better than Thanksgiving football. And so they got three fun games coming on the schedule. Obviously, we're going to talk about it. Obviously, you and I have a personal preference to the Thanksgiving games. Obviously, you're wearing your Jordan Love jersey. I'm wearing my.
I didn't know that I was. I'm sorry about
that. So we'll talk about that. You got some interesting news about that game later in the evening. But, we're obviously going to talk Chicago Bears, Detroit Lions. And then you got the Giants versus the Cowboys, which might be the most unattractive game for anybody to watch. Like, that might be a game that you actually could step away from.
Tommy DeVito versus I don't even remember who's the Cowboys starting now. Is it Lance, or are they going with the other quarterback?
I thought it was Cooper Rush, but I guess we'll get to that. We'll figure it out.
Possibly that they might switch. I know we'll get to it, but man, guys, if you need to go unbutton your pants, take a nap after dinner, that's the game. That's all I'm going to say. No disrespect to either franchise, but yeah. That's all I'm going to say.
Evan is in the house. Evan's popped in.
All right, Bobby, I'll see you later.
Yeah, you wore that shirt on Sunday. Well, first off, it's a sweater. Second of all, wife washed it. I wore it for work today, and I'm wearing it now. It's my favorite sweater. Love it to death. I don't see why. Obviously, you must have a huge closet with, brand new clothes every day. It's not like you wear the same shirt every post game. But I see why you're skipping pregame. It's called turkey. It's called Thanksgiving. You're Canadian.
Eat your poutine, you son of a bitch.
No. But anyway, glad Fitzstans is here. Everyone who's watching, appreciate you all tuning in. This is a special, this show has been on the back burner, and this is supposed to be a show. It covers football, baseball, basketball, everything, just goes to top news and sports, but we have never got to it. So I was like, man, me and Dave will do this impromptu show. Dave hit me up last night and, was like, hey man, I want to do this. I was like, oh yeah, let's do it. So I pulled out the backstage studio and, so let's do it. So we're going to touch on all three games right now. And of course, we'll go ahead and let me go ahead and pull us to the side here.
God, I got skinny finally.
I'm saying
here, and all of a sudden I'm skinny.
And of course, as we brought up, the three games for this Thursday: Chicago at Detroit, then you got Giants at Dallas, and then Dolphins at Packers. Again, nothing's better. At least Stager is still a beautiful pain in my ass. What is Brett and Greg's excuse? I don't know. They're never on, so they get to take one day off. I didn't get to take one day and get on a show. Well, I could take a part of the day off. He created Fitzstanza. It's his fault. True. Has it always been three games? As far as I recall, I thought it was. Well, no, yes. Maybe it's right. Was it always three games?
No, it's always been three.
It's been there for a while. It's been three games for a while.
It did a couple of years. There was two, but they tried that. But they liked because the primetime game at 7-8 o'clock. They usually schedule a game around there, and that's their money maker, is having two teams that have either playoffs on the line, stuff like that.
Yeah. But then, okay, so you got the Chicago Bears. Let's start off with the first game here. Chicago Bears, who are 4-7, 0-4 on the road, taking on the Detroit Lions, who seem to be one of the NFC powerhouses at 10-1, 4-1 at home. This seems like an easy route to go. But before we get into the game, as a Packers fan, obviously you watch the Lions closely. Dude, what are your thoughts on the Detroit Lions this football season, brother?
They have They're peaking right now, and it's important for them because they're building that consistency. But my only issue with it is, remember the Eagles 2 years ago? No, not sorry, last year. Remember they peaked, and then all of a sudden, the last couple of weeks, they kind of dipped, and then they lost in the playoffs. I'm not saying it's going to happen to the Lions, but I feel like they're peaking a tiny bit early. I feel like because look at the Colts game on Sunday. Everyone thought it would be a 40-point blowout, including myself. I said 100-0. And I feel like, I don't know. I feel like that game was still in reach with Indianapolis all the way through the mid fourth quarter. All they needed was a couple drives, and they were back in it. Like, the Bears offense has been playing way better of late. And I feel like the Lions they need to go in focusing on Chicago. If they go in peeking over and looking at that schedule, Chicago can catch them. I feel like they can do one of those rival Thanksgiving trip-up games, and Detroit's like, oh, look what happened last year. Everyone thought they were going to come in and crush Green Bay, and Jordan Love torched their entire secondary. So,
well, I'll say for me, it's easy, right? It's an easy pick to say, okay, Detroit obviously could win this football game. But to your point as well, and something that Stanza and I bring up on pregame a lot when we're predicting games on the Dolphins pregame show, division rivals. When you're facing a division rival, no matter how bad that team may be, or if it's, kind of on a rebuild, they could surprise you. They could shock you. I mean, you look at what the Browns just did last week to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Primetime football.
You know what I'm saying? So it could happen. This could be an upset game. It's a fun game. I'm looking forward to this game more than I am the Giants and the Cowboys, But let's just throw this out here. Offense for the Chicago Bears right now, they are 26th offense in the NFL, where the Detroit Lions are the second best offense in football.
Yeah.
And then defensively, they're 17th, the Chicago Bears, where Detroit is the 12th best defense. 32 points, about 33 points a game is what the Detroit is averaging, where the Bears are averaging 20 points a game. So, all right.
Jared Goff is prone for a couple turnovers. Like, look at the Houston game. He had 5. Like, if Houston just kept their foot on the gas this much, they would have won the game. They didn't try and push the lead even more. They played it safe, try running the ball because they thought Goff was going to keep screwing up. He did well at the end of the game and the last 2 drives and got him down the field to be able to come back. But Caleb Williams has shown some flashes. And 2 weeks ago versus Green Bay, he led them down the field, set them up for a field goal. It's not his fault the field goal got blocked. I mean, he did the same thing versus Minnesota. He took them to overtime. The punt returner fumbled the ball for Chicago. Caleb is showing why he's the number 1 draft pick and showing it. And I hate saying this as a freaking Packers fan, but Caleb and the offense of the Bears is starting to come together. I said at the beginning of the year, I can see the offense progressing and the defense regressing, and it's literally happening simultaneously right now. So if the Bears can force a couple turnovers on Goff, they got a shot. But if they just keep Goff clean in the pocket, I mean, Taylor Decker, I think, is injured right now too, and that's a biggie. And I think
you're not ruling out an upset here. You're not ruling that out whatsoever.
Nope. I think with division rivals and the Bears getting this close to the Packers and Vikings wins, they're hungry. They want to upset a rival right now. All 3 other teams are playoff bound according to percentages and everything else right now. They want to be able to take a chomp at the kneecaps for Dan Campbell. But I'm not seeing even an upset because you and Evan say it all the time. It's a rival. The records go out the window. So the Bears notoriously have the Lions number 2 on games like this. When they play nationally, the Bears come out and they play Detroit tough.
So, before I ask you your prediction, your official prediction, is this Dave the unbiased analytical, or is this Dave going, I hope the Lions lose for the
No,
Packers' sake?
I'm going to pick the Lions to lose.
Okay.
To win. I'm sorry, to win. I'm
Okay.
picking the Lions to win by like a smidge. It's going to be.
But you're not saying don't be surprised if they pull off an upset here.
I had the Lions winning like 24-23. That's how close I think this is going to be. But I think I wouldn't be surprised if Chicago pulls out an upset here to kind of get the train back on the rails.
I get it. And I agree. I mean, I think that I have the Lions winning as well, but I think it's be closer than maybe some think it will be. I have it 28-24. I think that the Bears, if the Bears upset them, I wouldn't be surprised. I would like it for Chicago. I mean, even though I really do, nothing against you, I really do like the Lions. The way they're built.
Because Dan Campbell's there, we know he's got Dolphins roots.
Well, dude, everything they've done, Jack Campbell, Jared Goff, Jahmyr Gibbs. I mean, everything I wanted Miami to ever do, they did. Now, credit, but yes, of course, Dan Campbell. But again, I do think not because I do like
to be a Lions fan or ditching to be a Dolphins fan and being a Lions fan. Is that what you're saying?
No, never. No, aqua and orange.
Sure.
Yeah, aqua and orange all day. But I do think Chicago's going to put them a run for its money. I think it'll be 28-24 Detroit. Detroit over Chicago. But it's going to be one hell of a football game. I think that will be a fun game. And then moving on, you got a game that if you got things to do, unless you're a Giants and a Cowboys fan, if you have anything else to do that day,
clean your leaves out of the gutters.
Maybe, go do whatever that is. If it's it's time to eat dinner, go eat your early Thanksgiving dinner. If it's and then spend time with your family, don't ignore the family, enjoy dinner at that point. If it's like Evan, Evan doesn't eat Thanksgiving, but in turkey that day. But if it's Evan and the other guys, if they got to do pregame, do it at that point. You're not missing anything at that point. There won't be nothing to watch. The Giants are falling apart. It's bad in New York right now. It's very bad. And in Dallas, it's a bunch of question marks. What's going to happen? Does the head coach come back? They're talking about Aaron Rodgers in Dallas next year. They're talking Bill Belichick in Dallas next year. They're throwing all the darts to the wall, just hoping something sticks. But obviously I'm not that, or usually I am. Then again, it's a divisional game. If, everybody, all the normal star guys were there, not stars, but, typical Giants, Cowboys players were there, I'd watch it. I would be, okay, this is going to be a good game. I'll enjoy it. It's Thanksgiving.
I miss Eli versus Romo. Now we deal with this crap.
Now we're dealing with this. So, but is there anything I'm hammering on it pretty hard, but is there anything worth watching with this game?
I mean, Tommy DeVito versus Cooper Rush. Kind of hard to build anything up here, but I don't know. Maybe Tommy DeVito gets all fired up because Baker used his move last weekend, so we see a bunch of
frozen. It looks like Stager got frozen there. I could see on the smaller video he's trying to go like this. Maybe he'll pop out and pop back in. But yeah, I guess that's. Oh, there he is. There he is.
I was like, I see loading screens. That's it.
You froze up there. You're like that. So
yeah. Well, maybe some Tommy DeVito touchdown celebrations. I mean, maybe him and Malik Neighbors get on the right page. Malik Neighbors came out and said, "Hey, they're asking him why didn't you get the ball to the fourth quarter?" He goes, "I don't throw the ball. What do you want me to do?" He goes, "I can't force him to look at me that late in the game when I haven't gotten the ball yet." He goes, "It is what it is." So he's clearly frustrated. Man, it would not surprise me to see Tommy DeVito get pulled if he plays bad enough. Cooper Rush, you know what? They just beat the Washington Commanders, and I'll give him this. He's not a bad quarterback. He's just like an average game manager. If you get him in rhythm,
yeah,
I'm picking the Cowboys to win this game. They're probably going to win like 28-18. I see maybe even less for the Giants. The Cowboys still have a formidable front seven. Micah Parsons clearly showed that. So as much as we were dogging on it, I'll pick the Cowboys 28-18.
So, yeah, I guess the interesting part to watch this game, if you just love characters and, I guess wanted to see if guys could possibly succeed or just see them fail, this would be the game to watch. What does Tommy DeVito do on primetime? What does he do with the Lions? And, how long is this the job that cost Brian Dable his job? Is this the job that cost the game that cost Mike McCarthy his job? Because if Mike McCarthy, even with Cooper Rush at quarterback, loses to these football giants who are in total disarray, is there any getting out of this point? I mean, they're 4-7. They're 4-7 right now.
The playoffs.
No. But 4-7. The Giants are 2-9. Giants away are 2-3. And at home, though, here's the interesting part. At home, the Dallas Cowboys are 0-5. At home, they're 0-5. So can the Tommy DeVito Giants shock the Dallas Cowboys?
I mean, they might. We've seen
good.
Dallas lose some teams we didn't think they'd lose to. So, yeah, they might.
That's pretty damn bad. And you can blame the windows all you want. It's just Dallas is they slipped on a banana peel or something before the season. Jerry Jones must have touched a cursed item somewhere. Maybe he was traveling Egypt to touch the cursed mummy.
30 years ago, that's what it was to win the Super Bowls.
It could be, because now, my goodness, nobody. It's crazy. When you got these teams like the Cowboys every year, so people go, "Oh, these dudes, they can make a run. They can make a run. They're going to be," and they just. And it tells you there's a fundamental issue with this team.
It's from the owner down. There's certain teams that have
that's
Giants,
why
the Morris. Look at it with owners who meddle. We talked about this last episode on the checkdown.
Yeah,
it's owners who meddle. This is two franchises who meddle in operations.
I let me see if I could mess with this very quick. No, it's nothing on our end. It's something I just want to fix very quick. There we go. I didn't like the but we had blue on our names, and I'm like, nah, it ain't right. We gotta go with the red, black 5, the FTSN red and black. Wolfpack for life. No, but it's right, it's true. And so, and that's why, like, when people are saying, "Oh, Bill Belichick to the Cowboys," in what world do you think Jerry Jones is gonna give any power to Bill Belichick?
Who's going to steal all the spotlight? And Bill's hanging out with 25, 30-year-old girlfriends right now. Why would he give that up?
No. That's why, like, when people would say, "Oh, Bill Belichick should be a head coach," like, Alex thinks Bill Belichick should be the coach of the Raiders. I can't see Belichick under Tom Brady at all. No. I think he wants to be able to, if he gets a team, he's going to want to be in control of all of it. So that's why, I think Jacksonville makes a lot of sense. We'll see, though. For me, though, I'm going to roll, even though the Dallas
Tommy DeVito upset.
No, I can't. Well, it's funny because the Giants are 0-6 at home, which is crazy. So
all their wins on the road.
And they're 2-3. So on the road, and the Dallas Cowboys are 0-5, but I think the Cowboys will get their first win. And I think you may have been a little high. I'm going to go 20-16 Dallas. 20-16 Dallas.
Oh, God.
This game.
I was trying to at least put in a higher score to make it watchable, and gosh.
They ain't paying us to make anybody watch that crap. It's like, Hey, you know what? Cowboy fans and Giant fans, they're gonna watch it, and hey, kudos to them. That's their teams. But it's going to be hard to find a reason to watch it. Again, unless you want to see maybe Tommy DeVito have that breakout game because everybody just loves this and they want to see him actually do something. And, fine. Watch it. Enjoy it if you want to. I just don't see it. So I got it 20-16. Let's see here. Giants win 17-13, Evan says. Drew Luck will play at some point. Drew Luck. Let's see. And he has 31-23 Lions. So, again, Giants, it's not crazy just because Dallas is 0-5 at home. There's something going on in the water there in Dallas, apparently. Don't drink your faucet water, Dallas Cowboys.
The oil wells are leaking.
There you go. Moving on to the game, I guess that's most important, especially to us here on Sports Nation FTSN. Yeah, I know. Dolphins at the Packers. Look, we'll try to be unbiased as we can, but we'll give it as it is. First off, let's just talk about it right now. So the Green Bay Packers, 8-3 overall on the season, having a very good year. 4-2 at home. Dolphins are 2-3 on the road. Miami throughout the season is averaging 19.5 points the whole year. But since Tua has come back, they're averaging about 28 points offense. They are allowing up to 21.5. Their defense is sneakily good. We've discussed this throughout the year, and obviously on post game, and you look at it, the 19th offensive. They're the 19th best offense, moving up the board. They were lower than that, and then now they're the 6th best defense. Where the Packers, and I don't have their last few games but I guess it's just been the same because they're so dang good. 26 points average on offensive scored, averaging 20 points allowed. To the 5th best offense in football, the 11th best defense in football. So, first off, you have an interesting tip. We knew it was going to be cold. We heard a dry cold. I was reading up a dry cold. Obviously the stigma around the Dolphins and cold weather, Tua and cold weather. I know a lot of people on both sides of the aisle here, Dave, at least in the Dolphins fan base, are like, that's not true. It's not just Tua, or no, you gotta. But I was in a very wet and cold ice game. It was raining ice in Tennessee, and I saw, and I do say this because people are like, oh, Tua's the one who did it, and Tua does this, and it's like, look, man, it's the whole damn team that folds in the cold weather and folds in December. But give me some. You just told me this before the show. What are you hearing now about the weather in Green Bay on Thursday night?
It's supposed to be snowing at 10 a.m. all the way through the day. So Green Bay has heaters on the field, but so does Cleveland. We just saw how that field got covered up in a matter of an hour. If it builds up something like that, or at least snow is falling and the wind gusts are going, what's it in Miami right now? 75, 80 degrees?
Actually, it's down. It's been the 60s. They have a little bit of a cold front. I know for us, it's
either way. Like you're going up from 60s, 70s, now down to a wind chill that's going to bring it to about 15 degrees, what it feels like up there, and starting the game at 8 p.m., mind you. So it's not going to be like 31 as the high of the day is saying. It's going to be lower. So I know Tua is used to the negative 30 degrees. He played that in Kansas City. I understand that. I'm just saying now we're possibly going to get some flurries on the field. That's a game changer because now it's okay. Now you got to bring the right equipment. We saw San Francisco, a warm weather team, just go there Sunday. Didn't have the right equipment. They were slipping. They were wearing their spikes and not their studs. That they have 7 studs on the cleat to help grip in. Where San Francisco was wearing more of the scrape style cleats and it was having trouble getting grip on the field. So maybe Miami pays attention to that. I don't know. If not, fire the equipment manager because you just watched the game happen on Sunday. And a lot of teams, even Minnesota, they're a rival. Their equipment manager, what was it, last year, went ahead and had all the Vikings players out there in non-stud cleats, and they were sliding all over the place because they're used to playing in a dome. So it gets, especially when the temperature drops, it gets even more moisture on the field, even besides the snow there in Lambeau. So that's one thing I'd pay attention to if Minnesota brought the right equipment. Because a lot of teams, when they come from a warmer weather, they seem to either don't want to put it on at some point or then have to put it on at halftime when they get behind.
So, and make sure ain't missing anything here. Yeah, just it's, huh?
Just have an aneurysm? You good?
No. I had something here and it just disappeared on me. But Evan, he says if the Finns win, Stager has to suffer through an hour show with yours truly. Stager is scheduled, win, lose, or draw, to come with us on post game.
I'm a good sport, Evan. You know that.
Yeah. Stager is scheduled to join us on post game on Thursday night to talk. Can't do pregame because he's with the family as well. But he will be with us on post game, win, lose, or draw. But let me ask you this. Let me ask you a different question here. I guess to challenge you a little bit.
Yeah.
When I talked about this to you yesterday, kind of give you a prep, but when you're looking at this game, obviously Miami's won 3 straight. Again, against the Raiders, against the Patriots. Can't sleep on the Rams. Rams are a good team, but again, they beat the 2 bad teams and 1 good team. But again, these are bad teams that Miami couldn't beat earlier in the year. Obviously they had the Tua injury, they had a lot of things going on, but they just couldn't do it. Now they've got 3 straight. They're still alive. They got momentum, 5-6. Obviously averaging about 28 points a game right now. They scored 34 points on the last 2 games. What gives you cause? Because obviously, mostly everybody, minus Miami fans possibly, mostly everybody's going to pick the Packers to win this football game. I mean, the Packers they're the 3rd in their division, which is crazy when they're 8-3. But you got Minnesota 9-2.
Yeah,
it's nuts, that division right now. But again, 8-3, and they're a damn good 8-3 football team. We just went over the numbers. So I can understand a lot of people saying, oh man, this should be a Packers win. First of all, it's prime time. It's the cold weather. Look at the team strength and everything. But Miami, again, is kind of moving on the up there. It looks like they're getting their footing. They kind of figured everything out. But what would give you cause to pause as a Packers fan to go, like you'd like to say, obviously you might, you're probably more likely picking the Packers, right? But what would you say, like, if Packers were going to lose this game, it would be for these reasons?
Our corner depth, if Jair misses this game, he's been out the last 3. If he misses this game, that's a big one because Jair's probably going to be on Tyreek or Waddle. And our corner depth, Eric Stokes is massively disappointed this year. I am happy with Valentine that we got from 7th rounder last year. He's come out and played nice. Nixon is up and down. It's our corner depth, man. That's my biggest worry there. Linebackers is weak right now. Edgerrin Cooper, one of my favorite rookies for this team,
yes, yep,
is possibly out. If he hasn't cleared concussion protocol, it looks like he might be out. Then that's a biggie. Like Quay, he had his best game against San Francisco, but he's too inconsistent. I don't have trust in him. And Raheem Mostert's not my worry. Like, he's kind of fallen off recently. I don't know what's happened. But A-Chain and Wright are my biggest worry for the run game. They are so quick, so decisive with their cuts in the ground, and they're just so agile out in space. And Jonnu Smith, who's
yes,
father time's like, come here, son, and Jonnu's like, screw you, and just I don't get it. Like, he's just this young kid again, and he's just running all over the field. And with our linebacker depth problem, I think Jonnu might eat in the game. That's my cause for it. And McDaniel comes from the same tree as LaFleur does. He comes from the Shanahan McVay style offense, and that's the thing. Like, I'm sure, and that will also too the QB collective. LaFleur and McDaniel are a part of that. They help mold QBs going into high school or high school to college in the NFL as that QB collective group. And McDaniel is a very smart coach. I will never, ever count that man out. I think he is. So I think Miami fans hate on him so much, especially like Evan. I think he hates on McDaniel way too much. Hill is not my worry. It's Waddle, because we play a lot of man-to-man. We play half zone, but a lot of man-to-man. If we play man-to-man, Waddle is my biggest worry. That guy gets open so dang easy, man. But fingers crossed, Xavier McKinney, our glaring last hope in the secondary. I mean, he's got 7 picks this year. So, but that would be my biggest worry is the Miami offense getting hot right off the bat, where you got to keep up with them. Touchdown for touchdown. Not that we can't do it. It's just the fact that you always like to be ahead. You like to have to make the other team play from behind. When Miami's got that lead, they're comfortable. Their play calling opens up more too. So I definitely want Miami to not get the lead early. I'd like Waddle and Smith to be in check. That's kind of my 3 biggest ones. And also, if our pass rush can get after Tua a little bit, I think that getting his head from getting brought down a couple times. I feel like Tua, once he gets sacked early on in the game about 3-4 times, especially in that first half area, it's kind of like in the back of his head, like, okay, they're coming around the tackle soon. So that's my biggest thought is you got to get pressure on Tua, or else he's just going to stand back there and pick you apart. He's shown he's just a talented passer. So biggest worries are right there.
I think that's all fair. And DSG Label, man, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you. He joins us most pre-games and post-games. But this is a great question because I was going to bring this up. This is a new element to Miami's offense that some Dolphin fans seem to be complaining about, which I think is great for December type of football, cold weather.
Shanahan staple
is Miami, is the offense running the ball, eating up the clock, taking its time, not going for those fast scores. How do you, because we haven't heard from you, obviously, because you just came back, and I'm damn excited that you're back on the channel, at least in front of the camera. What, obviously, again, Miami's had a struggling year, but adding this element to this offense, because I've been saying, obviously, we're not having that deep passing element anymore right now. It just seems hasn't gotten there. But eventually that might come into play. Miami, they just have to figure out how to get it. But now you've added this new element to the offense. How do you feel this will play into a game like this in cold weather for Miami? Like you brought up Devon Achane, obviously not just as a runner, even though he didn't have a great game running the ball, but as a passing threat as well. And then with Jalen Wright extending the time on the field, killing the clock. What do you think about that element of the Miami Dolphins offense being added now?
I mean, it's a Shanahan staple. That's been all the way since Mike Shanahan's coaching style. Is you just wear down teams, especially when you get in cold weather like this. Doesn't matter if it's home field away. If you're able to keep the offense off the field for the other team and just make them sit in the cold, make them thinking about being in the cold. My old co-host Jimmy Smith, who I used to have a show with, the former wide receiver, even said it. He goes, "Man, I hated playing in Green Bay, but guess what?" He goes, "You wanted to be on the field as the offense because you were on the sideline, you were freezing your ass off. So you want to be able to go ahead and keep your offense on the field and have those long, slow drives. Because then guess what? One, the defense gets tired out because it's this low, slow churning where the Colts kind of suck in the air from your lungs at the same time while you're trying to make a play as a defensive member, and then you got your offense on the sideline shivering like icicles. So, I mean, I get it. I know every team has the heat burner tunnels to keep people warm and the jackets, and I know Green Bay players a little more used to it. I get that, but at the same time, if it's that cold like that Kansas City game we saw last year, everybody's cold. It don't matter. It's not just the Dolphins.
Fair.
Chiefs dealt with it too. Like they had to play in -30 as well, so they're feeling it. They may be more equipped, maybe because it's their home stadium. So that's the only advantage I can see there. But those long, slow drives, it's a Shanahan staple. Like that's what LaFleur does. Like they have Love and Tua, they can throw the ball, but when you got guys like Achane and Wright who can run, and then you also have Jacobs for Green Bay, who knows? It might not be a high-scoring game.
That's where I'm leaning. I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game. So let's get into it. We're about 34 minutes in. I mean, first off, I appreciate you giving that part of it, and it's true what you were saying. And I will say that was one of my points about Miami, what people have been complaining about all year about, man, Miami has to, involve the Tyreek and Waddle more. And they did last week. Waddle finally had a great game, and he looked like Waddle again, and Tyreek looked really good too. And we may see him break up, but like Tyreek said, who gives a crap about the numbers? I'm paraphrasing. Who cares about stats? We care about wins. Let's figure out how to win down the stretch. This game should you. This is a huge. Let me just speak on Miami's part of it. This game right here for Miami. I mean, it means both for both teams, but Miami could get this to 6-6 at this point. They could get back to even play field. They're still in the thick of it. They're still in the wild card chase and have a good chance if they continue to win again. Now, we did break this down on post game with Fitzstanza, where if Miami even lost this game, they could still make the playoffs, how things fall. Los Angeles lost yesterday, so that helps Miami. So Miami's back is up against the wall. They've done their job. They've won the last 3 straight. I say take it week by week. Now's the opportunity, again, there's so many narratives against Miami winning this football game. There's the cold weather. There's prime time. There's Green Bay. So, and Green Bay's no joke. Okay, you beat the bad teams. Good for you. Now it's time to do it against a good team. And I understand DSG label at the beginning. I want Miami, if the Dolphins can't win, basically what his tweet saying, if Miami can't win, I want Miami to make the Packers earn it. If Miami comes out losing on Thursday night and somehow someone get blown out, that's going to be a dagger in the heart. But if Miami could come on Thursday night, and let's say they did lose that game, it still sucks. But if they could come out and say they hung toe-to-toe with the Packers in the snow or in cold weather, under the bright lights of prime time, on Thursday night football, on Thanksgiving night, they could still hold their heads up high because they know, hey, we got easier games down the stretch, and maybe this will help us earn that win against a Houston or San Francisco down the line. So there's a lot of narratives against Miami, but also like Tua has said, he said in his recent press conference, it's time to kill the narratives. So Stager, it's probably not going to be a shock where you're going here, but how do you see this game playing out, brother?
I'm actually going for an oddball score. I just think there might be something, I don't know. Every time Packers get in prime time, there's always weird. It's either bad or good. So, I'm going to have Green Bay winning just because of the home field elements. It's not that I'm playing in the cold for Tua and he's not won under certain degrees against him.
Yeah.
I have to see him do it to prove it to me.
Understood.
Like, that's my thing. I have to see him do it
to believe it.
Like the Kirk Cousins thing. He couldn't win on Monday night for like 11 years until he did it a couple of years ago. We had to see it to believe it. He could actually do it. So I'm going to pick Green Bay. I'm not going to be as friendly with the score. I'm going to do 26-17. I think the Miami goes down the field, but I think they get field goals. I think they try and go for a couple touchdown shots, but I just have too much damn faith in McKinney, man. And there's a guy that's been coming on for Green Bay. For me, I'm going to spotlight him. It's not Rashawn Gary, but it's Lucas Van Ness. Ever since Preston Smith has been traded away, he's had full start time, and he is 6th right now in pass rush win rate. There's a play specifically I'm going to talk about the 49ers. He had the left tackle on him. He was blocking him in, and then McCaffrey went to go help. McCaffrey's not a small running back. He took McCaffrey and picked him up and threw him like a child and then strip sacked the quarterback. So I'm going to go 26-17 just because I feel like I don't know. I feel like Miami might make a mistake or two up in the cold just because I feel like they might have to get used to it on the first couple drives, or they go 3 and out, maybe getting behind the sticks a little bit, going 3rd and 9 and 3rd and 10 instead of the old 3rd and 3 or 3rd and 4 they're used to in the warmer weather. I feel like Green Bay gets a lead on them and maybe forces them to get into a passing offense instead of a rushing offense.
Yeah, and that could be it's true because then you're forcing Miami to do something that would not be beneficial in that type of weather. I think your score is fair. I'll say that 26-17. It's not high scoring. I think it's going to be closer than that. And I understand the point too, that to see it to believe it. We got to see it to believe it. And then maybe it becomes easier to make that decision later on. All week, I've been leaning Packers. But something tells me that this is going to go the other way.
Alex got in your ear, huh?
No. No. I think there's going to be a 40-10 win. No, but everything you said is true. I mean, Green Bay could, if Green Bay gets ahead, Miami goes 3 and out, and Green Bay scores a touchdown, a field goal, Miami playing from behind, it's going to be hard to catch up even at that point.
Miami is a front-leading team. When they play better when they're in the lead. If they get behind, even a touchdown, it's like they McDaniel has this thing in his head where he has to play catch up, and you see that in his play calling. And LaFleur is a master when he's ahead. He likes to do the cute plays to try and open extra stuff up. And Anthony, didn't mean to cut you off. I'm just saying Anthony Weaver's
No,
a good
you're good.
team, and he's got solid front seven. But the weakness is, I mean, Josh Jacobs, man, like he has just been turning it on. That's what he was brought in to replace Jones for. And you see what he did against last week against the 49ers front seven. He had Fred Warner spinning in his shoes. So
and a lot of the points that you brought up before about cause to pauses was why I started going, even though I was leaning Green Bay just because of the obvious stuff.
Just say it.
I thought about it with Jonnu Smith, with the running game, which is going to be very important, and Miami's defense, especially their defensive line. Chop Robinson, who some on this channel, i.e. Finstanza, called him a bust during this season. And I said, how could, some people on other channels were like questioning his pick. And I said, dude, give him time. This guy has elite pass rushing skills. He didn't have the numbers like you would want him to in college.
He has to
He's a raw prospect. And now 3 weeks in a row, he has 3.5 sacks. He's one of the top leaders in pass rushing. I mean, the kid's a stud. I believe that translates. I think that helps Miami. This is where I'm going to tell you where I'm leaning, man. I'm struggling with the score, but I guess I'm going to have to go somewhere with it. I'm going to go 23. 23. I'm going to go 23, 21. 23-21 Dolphins. 22-21. Again, low scoring game. It could be lower. That's why I'm struggling. But first of all, if Miami's going to win this game, they got to score more than 20 points. There's no way. I mean, even though I believe in Miami's defensive front, I think they're starting to come around. They're the 6th ranked defense in the NFL. You're not going to hold Green Bay under 20 points. I can't imagine it. Can't see it. I don't think Green Bay has been under 20 points this whole season.
Since he got the knee brace off, coming back after the bye the last couple weeks, it's been a different quarterback. Like it's for the better. Like his MCL is healed up. His groin is not sprained anymore. Thanks to me going up doing my Mr. Miyagi trick in the locker room. He's better now. No, seriously though, he's healthier now, and it shows in his throwing. Like if you watch the 49ers game, he had the one beautiful bomb to Christian Watson, and he flat out dropped it. Like, you can't.
Jordan Love, you can't. Jordan Love. This is not me crapping on the Packers. I'm seeing, on this momentum streak for Miami. Again, the idea that Miami, first of all, they pay attention to all the noise. They're not like, they could lie, they could lie and say, oh, we don't listen to anybody. They do. They hear about the narratives that you can't win in the cold, and this pack can't be good. They know this. I believe that's going to drive them. I believe that Miami now, with the added element of extending a drive, killing the clock, that could benefit them. And this is a game that Tua, who's been great the last few weeks, this is the game that you really need to, even though it doesn't play in your favor, in either quarterback's favor, if it's that type of weather. But this is the game. You're facing a peer, a guy who was in your same draft class, a guy many say is better than you. There's a lot around the league that would say, man, I prefer Jordan Love over Tua Tagovailoa. It's just like a Justin Herbert Tua type of, or Joe Burrow versus Tua, or whatever. This is the game. There's your guy across the field there. He's going to be on offense too in the same elements. How does he perform? How are you going to step up and show up? This is that game. This is it. Mm-hmm. And so I think I feel in my heart of hearts, because my brain is saying, hey, you're going the other direction here, just being real. But my heart of hearts tells me Miami figures a way to win this football game, and they go 6-6 on the year. And if they could, great for them. If they lose it, again, I hope, as DSG Label says, and maybe the way you play it, I hope it's a fight. I hope Miami showed up and put up a game. Don't go there and get spanked. put up a fight against a very good Green Bay Packers team. So DSG label has it 21-17 Miami. Again, I can't see Green Bay scoring less than 20 points. But I love it. I'd be happy either way. Win's a win. Evan would probably hate Miami not scoring over 30 points. He'd probably say it's a failure, 2 or 3, it'd be crazy. But all's good. But yeah, man, it's gonna be a great game. It's gonna be a fun game, obviously, for both of us as fans. But again, if
it's a good ending to Thanksgiving football compared. I'm so glad they put this game instead of the Giants and Cowboys.
Oh, dude, for sure.
God.
Again, a damn good Packers team, a Dolphins team that seemed like they were dead in the water and they're starting to come back alive here. They're on life support.
Yeah,
it's a fun game to watch. You just hope that it lives up to those type of expectations. And again, I love snow football. I just hope that it's a snow game where we could go back and go whether we win or lose on both sides, Packers or Dolphins. We could go, damn, that was a fun game. That was
and the coaches are good friends off the field. Like McDaniel and LaFleur hang out during the offseason. Now, like I said, they're the QB collective. So he's predicting.
He's not. The label's trolling. But I know if
he's already left when we did our predictions because of the fact we didn't tell that Miami was going to put up 60, so he left.
Yeah, that's right. He took off. He left, right? But yeah. So anyway, hey, this that's the games for this Thursday night. We're excited. This Thursday, Thanksgiving.
Little hidden news: Giants, I'm hearing, are possibly resetting the whole front office and head coach at the end of the season. Dable and Schoen. I'm hearing Eberflus is gone after the season, no matter what happens, if they start winning or not. He's gone. But I did hear Daniel Jones is on the verge of signing with Minnesota.
Interesting.
Yep.
With Minnesota.
He turned down offers from 2 other teams. One of them I know is Las Vegas, because he said he wants to play with a winning organization. He's tired of playing with a bad overall culture. So shout out to
goes with Kevin O'Connell, who look what he did with Sam Darnold's career.
What do we do with Josh Dobbs? Josh Dobbs came in and looked like a superstar with his offense.
And again, it's like with any team organization, if you go, you talk about, let's talk Minnesota. Heaven forbid Sam Darnold goes down. You have an opportunity to be on a playoff team with the talent, Justin Jefferson, Matt, all those guys.
Aaron Jones, TJ.
So interesting news there. You could catch me and Steger together again. Obviously Thursday night post game, but also on Friday night on the check down with Russ Morgan as we go over all the weekend games and NFL news.
I promise to bring tissues for Russ after for the Jets preparing for this weekend.
That's right. There you go. Yeah, poor Russ. Gosh. Dave, any final thoughts, brother?
Just enjoy your Thanksgiving, folks. I know it's just football. I know we're here talking ball and we love it, but Thanksgiving is time to be around your friends and your families. And as I said with my former co-host, Brent Legassi, still love him. I'm going to go ahead and say this. It's a tough time for some people around the holidays because maybe lost some people. So it's okay to not be okay. So just reach out to someone, talk to someone. I'm here. If you need to talk to me, hit me up on my Instagram, Twitter, anything. Hit me up for that. I'm willing to, even if I don't know you, just because if you need someone, I'm here. And that's what it means is you're supposed to have people around this time of the year. So
I love it. All right, guys. Well, you'll see me again tomorrow night on East 10th Street Boys, straight out of Hialeah with Alex Tiachiska. We'll have Bobby Schaus of the Dive Bar podcast on with us, talking the Dolphins-Packers game and talking turkey. So that's Dave Stager. I'm Bobby Melendez. We appreciate you all tuning in. Thank you for watching the debut episode of Sports Nation. This will be a rotational show until I can get it rolling. Until then, we'll see you both. We'll both see you on Thursday night.